Today I'm going to be going over the major components that make up a computer system. Or, how does this thing work anyway? The major components of a computer system all work together to make the computer system operate like it's supposed to. There's internal components and external components. The first major component is called the motherboard. The motherboard is really just a giant circuit board. Without the motherboard, nothing else that's inside the computer will work on its own. The motherboard is made up of a bunch of different circuits that allows data to travel through the entire board to every other component that's plugged into it. This picture shows a map of a motherboard and gives an idea of, where everything will plug into the motherboard. Motherboards always have some sort of backplane that is your input-output. Things like speakers, printers, mice, keyboards, USB peripherals, and your network cable will plug into this backplane. The next major component of a PC is called the CPU, or Central Processing Unit. If the motherboard's the heart, then the CPU is the brain. This is where all the thinking occurs. The thinking that occurs breaks down into mathematical instructions that are carried out by the CPU. The faster the CPU, the faster it can carry out these mathematical instructions. The speed is measured in something called gigahertz. And these days, processors come in usually multiple cores. You'll hear things like dual core, quad core, and they've even got up to 8 cores with some processors now. Processors run extremely hot, and they always have to have a heat sink to operate properly, or otherwise they will literally fry. Major players in the CPU game are Intel and AMD. The next big component of a computer is the RAM, or random access memory. RAM is short-term memory for the computer. It comes in a stick configuration called a DIMM, or dual inline memory module. It's measured in gigabytes, and it usually comes in 2 per stick. When your computer system is shut down, anything that was held in your RAM disappears, so you can't access it later. Next major component of a PC is called the hard drive, or SSD, depending on what kind of computer system you have. The hard drive is the long-term memory of your computer. Data is stored on it even after the machine's powered down. With a hard drive, data is stored magnetically on platters, and it's read by a swing arm that swings over the heads. It's measured in gigabytes or terabytes. The faster the RPM of the drive, the faster the drive is. Your optical drive. This would be your DVD or Blu-ray drive. CD drives used to be popular, but they've been phased out for DVD drives. Most PCs will now come with at least a DVD reader, and a good chunk of them will come with, a DVD recorder as well. Blu-ray drives are becoming a lot more popular as well. Video cards. Video cards allow your computer to be able to display much loftier images, much higher quality, and allow you to play 3D games. Some are built straight onto the motherboard, and that's called onboard video. Anything that's high-end will plug into your motherboard, and it consumes a lot of power. Major players in the video card sector are NVIDIA and AMD. Next big component of a computer is the power supply. Without this, nothing works. your power supply delivers power to your machine. It converts AC power from your wall into DC power that the computer system can use. The more high-end components your system has, the bigger power supply you need. Most today are somewhere between 500 and 850 watts. Some are over a kilowatt. Then you have the peripherals. This would be anything that plugs into your computer externally. Something like a monitor, keyboard, mouse, etc. These are commonly called inputs or outputs, as they will input something into the computer system, or the computer system will output something to the device.